right, we live. Let's clap it up.
Let's clap it up. This is Wednesday law class. Once again, as needed every week, law class, we go into the set of laws that the Most High has given us. And this is what we need to get our necks from under the oppressor's foot.
Right.
I mean, to free ourselves. I mean, to get our rightful place, to obtain our inheritance. You know what I mean? That will come through war.
Right.
I mean, and that don't mean that you should be afraid or that you should be scared, right? You should be afraid or you should be scared if you know that you are not following these laws, right? You know what I'm saying? If you following your wants and your lusts, how you feel and and what you don't like and what you do like and what you think, I think this way, or I think that all people should come together, or I think this. Well, in the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana, we think what the Most High say.
Right.
You know what I mean? We follow what he says. You know what I mean? And we ask minimal questions. You know what I mean? Because this is our God, right? And the things that he has done for us to prove who he is to us and how much he cares for us is in these records, right? And today we're gonna get inside these records. We're gonna get into unclean. We're gonna get into unclean animals and unclean foods and meats, and we're gonna try to have an understanding, right? Today I want to try to give an understanding because at some point in time we're not gonna have Google, right? We need to. It could happen soon. Google might be shut down.
Right.
You're not gonna be able to look stuff up. You're gonna have paper to read these laws and these commandments and these statutes. You're gonna have brothers to refer back to. You're gonna have sisterhood to refer back to. You're gonna have your remembrance. These laws is gonna be in your mind and in your heart as they should be. You're gonna, just how in the world you knew how to put the lights around the Christmas tree and how to put the little turkey different color tails, cut them out so your kids can play the turkey. You knew how to bake that chicken. You knew the temperature it went on because you did it every year, right? You knew what your girlfriend like, so you can go out for Valentine's Day and buy her all the diamonds, right? You knew whose birthday was when. Right. You knew all your kids' birthday, right? And you knew what you was going to do, how you was going to plan it, right? That was in your mind. That was in your heart. Nobody had to tell you how to do that every year. Nobody had to teach you. You didn't have to learn how to do that every year. You knew it. And so these is how these laws supposed to be. And I want to get into the dietary law, right? And we're going to start in Leviticus chapter 11, verse 1. We're going to read down a little bit. And we're going to get some understanding so we can identify what is unclean and what's clean. So when it's time for us to go back into the wilderness and start all over and rebuild, if it so happens to happen like that, and we have to eat some crickets or some, you know what I mean, some deer or some lamb or some anything, you will know what you're not supposed to eat and what you are supposed to eat without going to Google. Right. It'll be in your heart and in your mind. So, got that.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 11, and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, and the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, verse 2, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth.
So the Most High is speaking to Moses, and this is how the operation and the order going along. So there's always order in the Bible. It's been here since Moses took us out of the wilderness. It's been there before Moses took us out of the wilderness, but you can see it right here. The Most High speaks to Moses. Moses went and told Aaron, and then Aaron went and told the children of Israel. Right?
Right.
And that's the way that the Most High set that up. Right? Aaron was there to help Moses better explain, better articulate what the Most High was given to him to the children of Israel. Right? Speaking to the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts which ye shall eat among all beasts. Right? And then right here, the Christian church will tell you all things are good. Right? Telling you all animals is good. Right? Verse 2 is telling you, these are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. So he's telling you there's a whole group of beasts that's on the earth. I'm going to tell you which ones you can eat. He's not saying all of the beasts on the earth you can eat. That would be pretty simple. The scripture, the chapter would be done. It would be over with. It would be no reason for us to read this. You would just go out and just eat anything. Then then the Christians would be what they are never. Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? But right here, he said he's about to give you what you should eat. Go ahead.
Leviticus 11:3. Whatsoever parteth the hoof.
Whatsoever parteth the hoof. Now remember that. Continue.
And is cloven footed, and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat.
Now, General Hyman already broke this down, right? So I'm gonna just repeat what he said and try to do it verbatim. Now, a hoof. In fact, does anybody know what a hoof is? When it says whatsoever parteth the hoof. Raise your hand. What you say? Raise your hand. When you got a question, raise your hand.
Like on a horse?
Like on a horse feet?
Yeah.
Yeah, similar to that. Yeah. But
Go ahead. No, slide. Woman, go ahead.
I wanted to try.
No, go ahead. Do your thing. Do your thing.
So on a horse, where?
At the bottom.
At the bottom?
Of his foot.
At the bottom of his foot.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is a hoof. All right. So it's saying whatsoever parteth the hoof. Go ahead, Darwin.
Yeah. So like if you look at the foot or the hoof of a horse, just think about a horseshoe. It's no part. It's just a U shape. So it's no split. It's not dividing the hoof. You get what I'm saying? So like we can't eat horses. Now a cow has a hoof with a split. So like it'll look like this. And I'm not even trying to be nasty.
Nah, you go into it.
I ain't trying to be nasty or derogatory, but you ever see like when Salakia. People in the world say when women wear certain clothes, they got a or a hoof. That's it. I'm glad you said it. I ain't had to say it. Salakia. So that's what a split hoof looks like. That's what they say that is. So the hoof has to be split.
Right.
There you go.
You're absolutely right. So on a horse, like you said, sis, he got one ring. You know what I'm saying? He got one horseshoe, right? When you looking directly at this horseshoe, there needs to be a split in between it. So it'll look like he got two toes.
Right.
Right. Right now, if you was to Google it, a hoof, simple. You would see an animal of a foot, you would see the split in between. And then it gets into it says, so you got that. So then it gets into it and says, and it's cloven footed. Right? Now, cloven footed is it goes to a group of animals. I forget the name. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I didn't forget it, but I just don't know how to pronounce it. It starts with an A. These group of animals are cloven footed, meaning their foot would have two. It would be it will be parted at the hoof, and then it probably will have a third that's hanging out on the back, right? Or it might have two that's hanging out on the back. That's a cloven footed, right? And chew the cud. Yeah, y'all want to take a shot at what chew the cud mean? Go ahead. Yeah, absolutely right, sis. Chewing the cud, certain animals chew the cud is they eat the grass. You might see, I think a cow chews the cud, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I think he does.
Say it again.
Cow chews the cud.
Yes, sir.
And a cow will eat the grass, it'll chew it, and it'll take its time chewing it, breaking it down. He'll swallow it, regurgitate it back up, and chew it again. Right? It's some type of process. In General Muhammad's video, he tell you he slightly went on to talk about the process of why they do that. Like it poses this something to the food, right? You know what I mean? But I really don't care. The Most High said, "Eat the animals that chew the cud." So, I chew the animals that chew the cud.
And chickens.
Chickens?
Yes.
That's it. Well, if I could,
I don't think chickens chew the cud.
if I could, chicken is in a different category. So when the Lord breaks down the different beasts, they all in categories. So that's one of them that has the the cloven foot and the hoof and all that, right? Chew the cud. The chicken falls under the fowl. You understand?
Right. And he's not cloven.
And he's not cloven footed. Yeah, of course. But that falls in a different category of animals. All right. Want me to keep going?
Yep.
All right. It's Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 5. And the coney, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean. He is unclean unto you.
All right. So.
Come. This book of Leviticus chapter 11 and 5. And the coney, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you.
All right, so you would say the coney, these shall he not eat of them that chew the cud. All right, cool. So the coney is like it's a small creature, right? And it's giving you a differentiation of, all right, you can only eat this animal that chews the cud and a whole hoof and cloven foot. You can't choose an animal and be like, oh well, he chews the cud. No, he need to chew the cud and be hoof and cloven foot, right? I mean, you just read verse 4.
Come. All right. That was 5, sir. Salaki.
Yeah. Can you read verse 4?
Come. It's a book Leviticus chapter 11 and 4. Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof.
All right. So now he's getting in. He told you what you could eat, right? You know what I'm saying? And now he's telling you what you can't eat, right? You know what I'm saying? Now he's getting ready to go into what you can't eat. Continue.
Come. As the camel, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof.
Now, the camel cheweth the cud. You see the camel chewing slow, right? You see him regurgitate, digest his food, and then regurgitate it and eat it back up again. But the camel hoof is the camel's foot is not hoof. Shalom, sir. So you can do that. He has to do both. You know what I'm saying? Continue.
Salaki.
Yeah. Go ahead, continue.
Come.
but divided not the hoof. In verse 4.
When we finish verse 4, right?
Come.
Because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof. He is unclean
That
to you.
animal is unclean. If he doesn't chew the cud and is divided at the hoof, right? He is unclean. Now, when we talking about this now, when you go out here, right, and you finding your animals to eat, you know what I'm saying? You finding you something to eat. Now you know when you're going for cattle, you know that this cattle must be hoofed at the foot, and you know what it looked like, right? And then it's the same animals. You know what I mean? It don't change through the season. So you know these same animals. Now you get to know, all right, the lamb, the cow, the deer, all of these chew the cud, eat the hoof, right? You know what I'm saying? And it would be nice. And you know what? And you know what's crazy? You can utilize your Google now. You can utilize your Google now and get familiar with these animals now. You know what I'm saying? What chews the cud and hoofed at the foot? What cattle that does that? You can look it up. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I got you.
Oh,
and you can look it up and you can get familiar with this now. This is very important because this is our key play. You know what I mean? This is our key play. Our actions verify, you know what I'm saying, our salvation. You know what I'm saying? With the Most High. You know what I mean? He giving us things to do and putting in the work to study this stuff, right? To put it in your mind. You know what I mean? To remember it. You know what I mean? And so we can get back when we get out of heaven, so we can get back to where we need to be. You know what I mean? And just always remember, yo, don't ever think like, oh, I talk to people, I tell them about the truth a little bit. I tell them about what we be learning about King David, about the Dawada, what it really mean, about King James and who he was, right? You know what I'm saying? A little bit about the Dark Ages, right? And who we was. And they seem like, oh, it's a lot. It's deep. You know, they like it. They like, oh, it's deep. It's a lot. And they feel overwhelmed. Like, oh, I never learned all of this. No, it's easy. It's your heritage. You connected to it. It's your tradition. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna come to you quick. So this is what we need to learn. This is what we need to know. We don't want to keep referring. We shouldn't have to keep referring back to our records to review what animals we shouldn't and should eat. You know what I'm saying? That's something that's rudimentary for Israel. You know what I mean? Let alone we should be tapping into our Hebrew.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's rudimentary. We should all be studying Hebrew. We should all be learning this, right? So we won't have to be. So we won't have to be referring back to our alphabet to speak Hebrew. No, get it now. Put the work in now. Prove yourself, right? So, what we at?
Verse 5.
Yeah, verse 5. You read that. Yeah, you can read it again.
So Leviticus chapter 11 and 5. And the coney, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you.
So he chew up the cud, but he not divided at the hoof. He's unclean. That's a lie. Verse 6.
Verse 6. Oh, it's verse 7.
Verse 6.
I just read 6, sir.
You just read 5.
I did. Salagi. Damn, Salagi. It's moving on me. Book of Leviticus, chapter 11 and 6. And the hair, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you.
So he's giving you a list of animals, how you cannot choose one thing and not the other. Like, you got to have both. This is what the Most High said, right? Go ahead, continue.
God. Verse 7. And the swine, though he divideth the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud.
So,
He is unclean to you.
So he is unclean to you, right? And this is what we get. This how pork right here is swine.
All right.
You know what I mean? Now the swine, he divided at the hoof. His foot looked the same. You know what I mean, can you eat him? Lie. He's unclean because he don't chew the cud, right?
Right.
So, you know, even outside of all of the harmful things that pork do to you, you know what I'm saying? And even the things that they find in pork, or we could talk about how pigs can eat poison and it don't harm them, right? And but in a sense, it don't even matter. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we serve the Most High, and He said, "Don't do it. Don't do it."
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like when you talking to your children, right? And you giving them direction, and they gotta keep questioning you every time. When you trying to look out for that, you trying to look out for them. You trying to be the better judgment for them. Um, you know, you tell your child, like, listen, just I got you. Just do what I say do. You making this process long.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the same way what the Most High is working with. That's the same way that we should be with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? You consider them your father, right? You know what I mean? You believe that you are a child of the Most High, and then act like you are the chosen children of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, brother.
Hey, if I could, and what you're saying is so heavy because the Christian church has made blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans God's chosen people think that God is some type of toy, man. Like he's some fun-loving guy, man. You understand? Like, we don't understand like how serious the Lord is. You know what I mean? Tell you don't eat swine, don't do it. You know why? Because he'll unalive you, man. You understand? He'll have you have the whole nation in slavery for 500 years under the oppressor that hates your guts, man. You understand? He'll have your daughter swinging from a damn stripper pole. Have your son doped up on drugs, man. Wearing a rainbow flag, man. You understand? The Lord put these rules in place to keep us separate from these other nations, man. So everything that we do is based on what we learn from these other nations, man. Eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster is a heathen delicacy, so-called delicacy. It ain't got nothing to do with blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, man. You understand? Those are the things that the Lord told us not to do. You know what I mean? You got so-called oppressors eating alligators and snakes and rabbits, squirrels and possums. You know what I mean? And we take on those traditions and think it's soul food. Like, I got family in Virginia right now that eat possum out, shoot rabbits and eat squirrels. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Talking about that's soul food. That ain't soul food. That ain't for your soul, man. You understand? The Lord said, don't do it. Don't do it, man. It makes life so much easier. It's so much easier. Slaga.
Hey, that's right on. Hey, you know why they calling it soul food? And I could be wrong because I don't know the tradition of where that soul food come from. But what it seems like is something that feel good to them.
Right.
That soothes their soul, that pleases their lust.
Right.
Right. You know what I mean? That's what the soul food is. They was out in the field going through hard times. You know what I'm saying? Soul food was something to take their mind off of it. To please them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the brother is exactly right. It comes from following other nations. Like, you have a son, right? And your son come in the house with some drugs. And you say, oh, bring them drugs in here. He like, don't nobody know I got them. You don't care. You like, I said, don't bring them in here. I don't want them in here.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the same. And the reason why he's bringing it in the house, and and this the first time bringing it in, is because he learned it from some other people.
Right.
He learned it from somebody else, and that's the same way how Israel is. We come back and we want to question our Father, our God, on certain things that we should already be doing because we learned the difference from another nation. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you can actually see it in Genesis. You know what I mean? When Adam and Eve was in the Garden of Eden that the Most High gave to them, right? And then you see the devil, you know what I mean? The serpent come in and question her and put the question in her mind of why he say that? Why he say don't eat from that tree? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They want to be different. They want to be the opposition. You know what I mean? We don't want to be the opposition. we don't like dealing with the things that we deal with every day. You know what I mean? We want to do what the Most High do. That's why Israel has always been a spiritual type of people. They always seeking for some type of God. They always seeking for a higher power or something that we could believe in, right? Because the Most High made us the way that He wanted, the right way that He wanted to make us. He made us so perfectly, right, that we can execute the plan that He wanted us to execute. He made us with the right feelings, right, with the right thought process. He made our women the right way that they're supposed to be. He made our men the way that they are supposed to be. Everything is the way that it's supposed to be. And when we go, we follow after these other nations, and we mix with them, right? And we let them put questions in our mind. We be weak in our and following the Most High and to our lust, and we want what they want, right? We get things like how your son gets things from bringing those narcotics into the house that the kid down the block wouldn't get, right? He's going to get a punishment. He's going to get a judgment, right, from his father or from his mother. That kid on the block is not going to get a punishment or a judgment from you, right? So that's not yours,
Right.
So we're going to get back into the scripture, but you know what I mean?
Hey, one thing, if I could.
Come.
So, in the way you broke that down, like how, like Joey down the block ain't gonna get punished because Mike has a different father.
Joey down the block is going to get punished.
Okay.
He's not going to get punished the way that you're going to punish your son.
Right. Exactly.
You know
Come
what I'm saying?
on.
So you get a different type of punishment because of who you are.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I got you. I think the dog will not finish that.
Yeah, I'm done.
Come. Go ahead, sir.
He gonna punish you first. He gonna punish them also. He gonna punish you first for your nigga.
Right.
We are chosen ones. God given to us, so they still gonna get punished for that sins. The Most High is gonna chastise you first.
So let's just keep that in mind as we go forth, because as you keep going deeper and deeper into this truth, and you learn more and more, we all feel ashamed as we work on trying to get ourselves perfect, which is the goal. When we misstep, we feel that misstep. You know what I mean? It's like, because you want to be better. Like, you in here, you want to be better. You learning it. You know what I'm saying? And it's a blessing to have that feeling when you misstep. You're like, dang. You know what I mean? Like, you had that fight. You was in the middle of that fight. And whatever you did, whether you procrastinated about paying your tithes, right? And then you missed it, and then you missed the next one, or you fell short and you ran your mouth about somebody, or did something, whether it was conscious or unconscious or procrastination. You have that feeling that we feel shameful. You know what I'm saying? Like letting your father down. You know what I mean? Like letting your mother down. And you know what I mean? Like that feeling is a good feeling. You know what I mean? And we should strive to never feel that feeling. You know what I'm saying? Because we got brothers that's in these records that stop feeling that feeling. Elijah stopped feeling that feeling. You know what I mean? He didn't feel that feeling in so long that the Most High said, "Come with me. Come with me, my man."
That's my nigga.
And brought him up in them chariots. You know what I'm saying? Job, perfect. It's possible, man. Don't believe in that church. That church is lazy, right? They lazy. They just the same as the heathens, man. They just the same. They want to be like that. They fight for that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They'll fight against something that they read it in here. They'll make a whole story of saying, first, I don't follow the law. Then you prove to them about the law. And now it's, well, I don't follow the whole Old Testament. Right? Oh, well, the New Testament start when Christ died. God dang, you gonna keep adding stuff on. Every time the ISUPK hit you with something, you gotta, soon they only gonna believe in Revelations.
Right.
That's the only book they gonna have. Is the then they gonna start chopping that up in chapters.
Right.
You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Like what you said is so heavy, we don't realize that Christianity, because we don't study show ourselves approved like we do, but they've been chopping it up since 1611, man, when they took the Apocrypha out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now you go to Christian church, you don't see the King James. You see the New Testament Bible. They chopped it again and took the whole Old Testament out because their whole duty is to make Israel sin against God.
Right.
They hold they whole duty is to do what they wanna do. You know what I'm saying? They gonna tell you over and over that God wants you to be happy. Where it's at? Show me it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
They want to prolong their kingdom because the reason we're in this trouble because we broke the law.
Right.
They realized that that's why they took the law from us, but they didn't take the law of tithing because that was mess up their hustle.
Right.
So they keep that in, but tell you all the other laws are done away with. And we so idiotic, we don't even realize that tithing is the law. So if the laws are done away with, why we paying tithes in your Christian church?
Right.
The same reason you go to church on a Sunday. The same reason you worship in the white Jesus, because it's a hustle. It's from the other nations.
Right.
And they want you to keep them in that kingdom by sinning.
Right.
Prolonging Christ is coming back. That's what they're trying.
Man, you absolutely right to that, brother. Ahead. We gonna move on because we got more in here. You know what I'm saying? I like to dive into Leviticus. I've been waiting to get into the law classes. I want to keep going over these laws so we can better understand it, even without reading it. You know what I mean? Like that been one of my biggest things. You know what I mean? I just feel like it should just be given like this verbatim. So I just want to do my part.
That's right.
Verse 9.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 11 and verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters.
So he's talking about the fish, obviously. These that you shall eat of all the waters. You know what I'm saying? Again, when you reading this and you paying attention to his wording and what he's saying, he's not saying everything in the waters you can eat. He's saying these. He's giving you an option of a group or a certain or a amount, not everything. These, right? Continue.
Whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, that them shall ye eat.
So now he's even going in specific and giving you different bodies of waters. You know what I mean? He's being actually the Most High is being specific. You know what I mean? He's not leaving no room for you to say, for somebody to try to trick you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just a great thing. You know what I'm saying? He's saying the rivers, the seas, and bodies of water, right? So, fins and scales, right? So they gotta have fins, they gotta have scales.
Right.
Right. Now, again, I'm gonna go over it again, I'm gonna say it every time. You know what I mean? Let's remember this. Let's remember these scriptures. When you get a chance to get along, Google fins and scales. Google animals with fins and no scales, so you can get a gist of what they look like. Then Google animals with fins and scales, or animals with scales and no fins, right? And when the time comes for us to do our own fishing, back to getting fishing again, you will know what to throw back out there.
Right.
Right? Like an octopus. Right? Right? Most likely, to be honest, just watch Moab on TikTok. Whatever he eat, you don't eat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whatever the Ammonite eat, and you don't eat. And you probably don't want to eat it anyway when you
Right.
see it on there. He'll show you all the unclean things to eat. Go ahead, sis.
Who is that?
Moab is the nation of China. Moab is China.
Oh, okay.
Ammonite is the Japanese. Right? They are the sons of Lot. You know what I'm saying? Lot lived in Sodom and Gomorrah. Most High decided to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah for their fornication, right? And angels came to Sodom and Gomorrah to look for, some righteous people, because if he would have found the angels would have found some righteous people there, he would have saved it, right? The angels didn't find no righteous people. That actually, he was supposed to find a certain amount of righteous people. Lot was the only righteous man that was there. The angels, Most High decided to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, so told Lot to get out. Lot left. You heard about Lot's wife. When she looked back, she turned into a pillar of salt, right? So after that, he had 2 daughters with him. So Lot was supposed to go to Zion. No, he was supposed to go somewhere that he did not go because he got scared. So he diverted himself up into the mountains.
Mhm.
Him and his 2 daughters. His 2 daughters went up there, and his 2 daughters put together a plan. And the plan was because Lot had no sons, and the sons of the males inherits the father and also continues the lineage, right? The bloodline, right? Because Lot didn't have no sons, he just had 2 daughters. The daughters decided that they wanted to give their father children because his wife died, right? And he was in the mountains, right?
Right.
Sodom and Gomorrah just got destroyed. I really can't tell you what state they was in, like state of mind they was in, but they decided that they wanted to give him.
If I could, I can help you out with that. If I could. So think about this: like the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. He put such a beating on this place that to this day, like the scientists in Esau and the military and NASA and all that, they still trying to figure out like what could cause that type of explosion, because like it matches this the explosion of like a nuclear bombs that hit Sodom and Gomorrah. So he destroyed this place. Now the destruction was so crazy and so scary that Lot and his daughters went into the mountains, and the Lord was still bombing this place. Like it wasn't like boom, one bomb and it's like, oh, it's over. Like he was like bombarding this place with bombs or whatever he was hitting it with, right? Well, I'm saying bombs, but it was the hellfire that the Lord brings down, like ash, meteors, brimstone, right? So his daughters see this destruction going on, right? And they like, yo, we gonna die. We gotta have some babies. Yeah, the world over. Like they don't know that it's still other countries and other civilizations outside of Sodom and Gomorrah, because the destruction is so vast. So they got them drunk and laid with them, both of them. And that's the story. That's how you got
Chinese and Japanese.
Yeah, and that's why they look alike, because it's called, what's it called?
Mongoloid.
Mongoloid. Is it Mongoloidism?
It's Mongoloid.
And it's something else why they look so like that. But
It's Mongoloid.
Inbreeding.
Yeah, but they put it with something like I want to say Down syndrome, but it's like,
That's what it is. Mongoloid. That's what it is. Down syndrome. Yes, man.
So the father laid with his daughter.
Yeah, but they was drunk. They got him
they
drunk.
laid with him. He
Yeah.
was drunk and they laid with him.
Yeah.
So the first daughter laid with the father Lot. She devised a plan. Let's get our father drunk, right? And let's make child with him, right? So we can save his legacy. So the first daughter, they got him drunk, right? And when you think about it getting him drunk, I'm talking about they got him, they know what they father like. They got him drunk, they got him good and wasted. You know what I'm saying? And then she laid with him. And she was impregnated with the oldest child, which is Moab, nation of China. And then the next day, they said, let's lay with father again, to make sure. And the second daughter laid with him, got him drunk and wasted, and then laid with him. and had the second child, this the Japanese, which is Ammonite, right? So that's what the nation of Moab was. That's why we said go watch them on TikTok. They're gonna be eating all the unlawful sea creatures and dogs, cats, rats,
In bats.
bats. Where we at?
We are on verse 10, sir.
You can go ahead, and then I think we won't be done after this. We're gonna go move to the next one.
You say read it?
Yeah. Come on.
Come. It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 11 and verse 10. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
They're gonna be an abomination. They're gonna be these are gonna be an abomination. Does anybody know what abomination means? What?
Something that is, that God, we don't, abomination is something that is disrespectful to God. Or disrespectful to the Lord, and it's not right. It's not lawful, it's not right.
Right, not lawful. It's more of a action. It's more of a what to us would be more of a emotion. Abomination is disgust.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when the Most High say this is an abomination, this means like I describe it like poop on your hand. Yeah, like that right there. That's what it's like. Like, you know what I mean? So when he talks about man land with man, that's abomination. That's what that means. So now when you read it, you know what you get a whole better picture, a whole clearer vibe of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Like you actually feel closer to the Most High, knowing these simple, words, breaking these things down just a little bit more, not just a little bit more, a whole lot more than the Christian church. You know what I'm saying? Now you feel closer to, like when Christians say, I feel close to God. You know what I mean? Because I woke up this morning and my feet didn't hurt. You know what I mean? My hand came out the right way. I wanted it to. Like he doing some things. Like you know what I mean? So that's why it's good to when you at home and you on your own time, that even while the demons is working, stuff gonna pop up. Satan gonna be working. So like pop up, things gonna be happening when you decide that I want to start getting into the word. I want to start reading this verbatim, looking up everything I don't know, whether it is thee, thy, all of those things. Because looking up those words gives you better understanding of the scripture. Like yay. Do any of y'all know what yay mean? Yay means y'all. So now when you reading it, he's talking to a group of people.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know he's talking to a couple of y'all. How better, a clearer understanding than that? And it's so simple because the Christian church gets billions of dollars and they can't tell you what yay mean.
Right.
They can't tell you what yay mean. Your pastor, he drive to church comfortably. Heated seats, stars in the ceiling. You hear me? You know what I mean? Children in the basement. You hear me? A wife cooking, and he can't tell me what yay mean. You can Come on, man. You can do the least. You know what I mean? You can just tell me about your day and how you feel about certain things with one scripture.
Right.
So take the time to dig in this and write down what you don't know. And that's putting in the work. Looking up words. Writing down scriptures which you don't know. You know what I'm saying? You should have an empty book full of scriptures that I don't understand that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And if you lax on it, shame gonna come in. Like we talked about earlier, that feeling, right? And guess what? You're gonna pick that book back up and you're gonna start off where you left off. And then you're gonna go a little bit more harder, right? And then if it happened again, you're gonna do it again. You're gonna go a little bit more harder. The same way when we was in the world and we had a problem with smoking cigarettes, or we had a problem with smoking weed, and we put it down. And then we might get back. And then we like, man, we feel bad because we said we was gonna do something. You got your kids watching you. You might told them that you wasn't gonna do it. You know they gonna pull your card. They've been waiting.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because especially if you got a child like me, all the jokes in the world. So you want to keep going harder and harder and harder until, dang, I haven't smoked in 3 months. I ain't even know. I ain't even know.
Right.
I haven't. Whatever you trying to stop, right? The goal is discipline, because we better than the other nations. Like literally, we look better, we dance better, we talk better, our swag better, we eat better, our food better, our women better. You know what I'm saying? Our brothers better. The way we carry ourselves, our aggression is better. You know what I'm saying? Everything is better. So we just gotta like be head on, keep getting back at it until it's gone. You know what I mean? And especially at a time like this, because I feel like everything we see and we hear General Yohana talking about what's going on with Ukraine and Russia, and what's going on with Turkey, and what's going on with Gaza and Palestinians and Iran is revving up. You know what I'm saying? It's like this is the prophecies, you know what I'm saying, which is making us blow the horns harder. You know what I mean? Which should be making our people work harder. You know what I'm saying? It should be a reminder. You know what I'm saying? You should be scared. You know what I mean? You should be scared if you don't feel like you not perfect yet. You know what I'm saying? And we could just get back on it and keep going harder and harder on it every time.
So look, and the reason the law class is so important is because the same way the United States of America has a constitution, those laws, we have our own constitution and laws, right? Now, we can follow, we should follow what the Constitution tells us to do. Keep the laws, don't drink and drive, don't shoot nobody in the face. Nothing's crazy, you know what I mean? Like follow the laws of the land. But on top of that, because we are in servitude to these heathens, these other nations, we need to get back to these laws, because I got a precept, if I could, sir. Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. That's why the nations can bust our heads, kill us, get away with it. You know what I mean? Lie on us, plant drugs on us, keep us in poverty, take our property from us, steal our money. They can do all these wicked, diabolical things to us because we don't have the knowledge of the scriptures keeping us safe. You know what I'm saying? Because like you gotta think, like if we're not eating crab, shrimp, pork, and lobster and not waving rainbow flags up and down Charles Street every year, like the other nations be like, damn, why the other people, why blacks and Hispanics don't mess with us like that? We gotta see what's going on. You know what I mean? And then when they get nosy and want to poke their fingers and poke their nose in our business, the Lord will defend us. You know what I'm saying? Like the Lord wasn't with all the brothers and sisters in Tulsa, Oklahoma when we had Black Wall Street. You know what I mean? We had a whole network across the whole country. You know what I mean? All them cities and those towns that the oppressor broke the levees and drowned the whole towns and lakes. You know what I'm saying? The Lord, I mean, we can establish things when we are left alone, but if we're not left alone and following the laws, statutes, commandments that the Lord gave us, we still are prey for these other nations. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's so important that we study the law and we know it, because it'll keep us safe. And not just your actions. Your actions, my actions affect you. You know what I'm saying? We are a nation of people. Every individual that's out here don't know the law, that's that's going against the law, it's affecting everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what the Christian church don't tell you. The Christian church preaches what? Individuality. Oh, if they cut them off, if they ain't rocking with you. They hurt your feelings, leave them alone. You doing better in 2024. All that garbage.
Divorce your husband.
Yeah, divorce your husband. If you ain't equally yoked, that ain't how it works. Divorce your wife. You know what I'm saying? Do what you feel. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how it works. We got to work. We got to be all in the same mindset. That's the only way the Lord is going to come back and save us. You understand? If it's like, I digress.
If I could,
That's the officer the dog won't give him a hand.
if I could, our power is the law, statutes, and commandments of God.
That's right.
And if we lose our power by not doing the law, they can conquer us. That's in the scriptures.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You get that?
Come, gotcha.
And we already seen what happens when we lose our power. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we try to get away from. That's why you here. Because you lost your power. You know what I'm saying? And we see what happened. And we all sick of it. You know what I'm saying? Leaders who try to do the right thing, but don't have, you know what I'm saying, what the ISUPK have, right? They never complete their mission, right? You know what I'm saying? But their purpose started because of what's happening to us, Israel. You know what I mean? They want it to stop, but they don't have the Most High, so it won't work. You know what I'm saying? It can't work. The Most High won't allow it. This will allow it. You know what I mean? And
sin against that God, it will be that ruin.
And the scriptures, we're not gonna go all the way down into it, but if we continue to read, we gonna touch back bases on Leviticus and the dietary law, and we gonna come back to it in another day when I'm doing the class. We're gonna start at 13, and it gets into the different types of birds, right? The unclean birds and the unclean animals that walk on all fours, right? And it gives you a rundown. You know what I mean? So next time we go into it, any questions that I throw out there for any of the brothers and sisters, I'm saying y'all should ask some questions for us, for whoever teaching, and y'all should, be familiar with what's we be able to answer some of the questions that we throw out here. We're gonna go to chapter Leviticus. We're gonna stay in Leviticus. We're gonna go on to chapter 12, verse 1.
Say one more time.
We're gonna stay in Leviticus, and we're gonna go to chapter 12, verse 1.
12 and 1. Gotcha.
And again, how you gonna see how chapter 12 start off? He's running down what he wants you to do and what he won't want you to do. All right.
1 second, slide.
All right. So when we read in chapter 12 in Leviticus, he's starting off the same way that he started off in 11, right? He's giving the message to Moses. Moses was speaking with the Most High. He was the only one allowed to speak with the Most High because that was an order and that was a rank, right? And Moses gave the message to Aaron. Aaron interpreted it in whatever so elegant way that he did and gave it to the people. You know what I'm saying? And that was how the chain of command went. And this is how the chain of command will go. And this is how the chain of command goes in the ISUPK, right? So, in a sense, let's, like I said, with everything that's happening in the world, and with everything that's happening in the world, let's try to have an understanding of, or just come with the realization that there is a rank in a chain of command.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if you feel offended, it ain't no secrets in the ISUPK. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and put that counsel in, you know what I'm saying, or talk to that brother or sister one-on-one, right? Because this is how we not be like the Christian church. This is how we stay one body.
Right.
This is how everybody stays on one accord, you know what I'm saying, to be able to be a team, to be able to communicate when we need to not saying, I don't want to deal with that brother. Let me talk to her. I don't talk to her. No. We squash issues. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
One way or the other. Go ahead.
If I could. The other nations know how to destroy us, and the Bible let us know everything that they're trying to do to us, man. That's why God says, study and show yourself approved, and you'll see the error in our ways is not following the Most High and keeping His law. We're going to bring out a scripture that's super heavy, man. Everybody need to examine the scripture, man, and realize what these other nations is doing to us. We give you go ahead.
Yeah, this is the book of Judith, chapter 5 and verse 20. Now, therefore, my Lord and governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
This is, they know that we are the children of Israel, and they know our power, and they know how to make us lose our power. This is why they got us going to Christianity church on Sunday and worshiping the white Jesus and Islam and all the religions that they gave us that God never gave us.
Right.
It's called crafty counsel. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We got to understand, man, it's only being taught in the ISUBK. It's truth. And this is what we're bringing out to our people, man. Read.
And let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
And that's what they're doing to us. They got us sin against our God because we don't supposed to get high. We don't supposed to eat certain things. We're supposed to live a certain way. And they got us doing the opposite. And this is why God said, who changed the truth from God into a lie and got to worship the creature more than the creator.
Right.
So you got to realize, man, these scriptures are for our learning. And every Israelite, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian need to listen to these classes, man, and subscribe and study to show yourself approved so you can stop being destroyed in your mind by these other nations, man. That's it.
That's perfect. I'm trying to give Brother Gabar a hand. That's how you become strong in your mind. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where it starts. It starts in the mind, and then the actions take control.
Got some more on that if you could.
If I could, Salaki. All right, this is Judah 5 and 21. But if there be no iniquity in their nation,
if we keep the law, statutes, and commandments, is what they're saying. Right?
Let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their God be for them, and we become a reproach before the world.
You know what I'm saying? They know if we do the right things in life, their life and their heaven is over.
He said something in there that say, if there be no iniquities, right. in Israel, let our God pass over. So remember what happened in Egypt when he was coming with the plagues for the firstborn, and he told you to do something. He told you to put the blood of the lamb on the post, and he would pass by. That's the same way, right?
That's right.
You know what I mean? You following these laws will save you from the things that is coming to the people that's not following these laws. He's gonna pass by you.
That's right.
This is what we need to be doing. If you want the Most High to pass by you, right? Because the Christian church is gonna tell you he all love. You know what I'm saying? That he passes by everybody. Everybody get a pass. Everybody get a pass, even though we got homeboys that's been unalive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That we've seen unaliving at 7 years old. You know what I mean? But he love everybody. Can't be. It can't be that he just let Satan have full reign over the earth, right? And he gonna wait till the end to fight him. It's gonna be a great fight. Don't make no sense. It don't add up. You know what I mean? And a lot of us start off with these questions, and it comes to this place. We end up here. We end up at this point. You know what I mean? We'll end up somewhere even more greater.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was a perfect scripture. I'm saying, give him a hand again, because that's even more motivation of how we need to start taking this a little bit serious. Start checking ourselves when we don't even feel like we are in the right character.
Right.
Like double back and check. Like, oh, let me see. Let me investigate. Let me find out. That's putting in the work. That's discipline. You know what I'm saying? And that becomes the action that you don't even think about doing. You know what I'm saying? That becomes something that is just you.
That's
You
you
know what I
keeping
mean?
the law. Study and show yourself approved.
Come. And that was great. And we're going to continue. And we're going to get into Leviticus chapter 12, verse 1.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 12, and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a woman have conceived seed and born a man child.
All right, so right here, if a woman has conceived seed, right? The man has the seed, puts the seed inside of the woman. We all know, and she's ready to give birth. She's given birth. She gave birth to the seed that was put inside of her by a man, right? Read, continue.
And born a man child.
And it's a man. It's a boy. You know what I'm saying? The Bible call it a man, and it's a man. Read.
Then she shall be unclean 7 days.
She'll be unclean 7 days. She'll be unclean 7 days, right? We all understand that. She'll be unclean for 7 days. Now continue.
According to the days of separation of her infirmity shall she be unclean.
So she be unclean. She's unclean for 7 days, right? Now go ahead, verse 3.
Verse 3. And in the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised.
So that male child in the 8th day, he should be circumcised. Sis, should he be circumcised on the 5th day? Should he be circumcised on the 2nd day? He should be circumcised on what day? Often the dog.
The 8th day.
The 8th day. Why should anybody can tell me why the male child should be circumcised on the 8th day? Go ahead. Say it again. I can't hear you. Say it one more time. No. You can tell me?
Because the Lord said
Because the Lord said so. Because the Most High says so. It's simple.
Right.
It ain't even hard. We ain't gotta be like we don't have to be like the other nations. So what? Because the Most High says so. You know what I mean? Like you riding with your homegirl. You know what I mean? In the world, and she tell you something happened. What? Ooh. What? Yo, I didn't do that. No, my homegirl said you did it. You with it. You gonna ride for yours. Same energy that you use out there. That's how the Most High says so. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to, you can investigate it later. I mean, we are the smartest people on the face of the earth, so there probably is a reason behind it, but we don't need the reason. You know what I'm saying? We can figure it out later. You know what I'm saying? You can figure it out now when you go home.
Right.
But we gonna do it because the Most High says so. So go ahead, continue.
Verse 4. And she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 3 slices.
And he said, and then she shall continue. So she's going to be unclean for 7 days, right? And then she will continue in her what?
She will continue in the blood of her purifying 3 and 30 days.
So she will continue in the purifying of her blood for 3 and 30 days, which is 33 days, right? So now we understand how long a woman is unclean after she has a male child, right? Now we learned this, right? You know what I mean? And we can look over it, and this can be something that is in our minds and in our hearts that we never forget. That we would only come back to the scripture to read about it, not to relearn it, just to reteach somebody. You know what I mean? To prove to somebody that this is what the Most High said. This is right here, right? Because we are the nation of Israel, and we should know it. So continue.
She shall touch no hallowed thing.
Hallow, anybody know what hallow mean? Empty. Hollow does mean empty, but this hollow means something else.
Holy.
Holy. It means holy. It means holy. It means the Most High has made it holy, separate. He's made it for him. Is this podium, right? That only you have to have a certain rank to come on this podium, right? You gotta have it's certain things that come with being on this podium. You before you come on here, your actions gotta be. It's certain things that you shouldn't have done, right? When you come on this podium, because I don't want to say sanctified, right? I mean, in a sense, yeah. They check me if I'm wrong. It's holy. It's separate, right? It's a place of the Most High, right? Like that veil. You ever heard of the veil that the priest had to go behind, right? When they sacrificing, when they doing the traditions of the Most High, that they saying that it's holy back there. That the priest had to be clean when they got behind that veil, right? That is what they saying. Can't touch anything that's hollow. That's holy. Boy, continue.
Nor come into the sanctuary.
No coming to the sanctuary. So can't come into the school, right? Boy, continue.
Until the days of her purifying be fulfilled.
Right. Until the 33 days of her purifying is fulfilled. Right?
Right.
Go ahead, continue.
Verse 5. But if she bear a maid child.
But if she bear a maid child, right? You know what a maid child is? Maid child is a female. It's a woman. Continue.
Then she shall be unclean 2 weeks.
You're gonna be unclean for 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks you're gonna be unclean. I continue.
As in her separation, and she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 66 days.
66. Y'all want this is Vermont.
We outside.
Thank you, probably.
Oh,
You see him out there? So he's gonna be unclean for what it says. 3 scores. Okay. 3 scores is 6 days. Right? 3 scores is 3 months and 6 days. Right. Now, this is the big question. Why the Most High? Why is he unclean? Why is she unclean for 33 days with a male? And she's unclean for 3 scores, 3 months and 6 days. Anybody want to answer that? Anybody want to answer that? Anybody know that question? None of y'all want to answer? You know what the dog want? Oh, you want to answer? Go ahead. Because the Most
High said, give her a hand. That's right.
And that's the mindset that we gotta stay in. You hear me? This gotta stay in, yo, especially for our sisters, bro. It's not your job to try to make everything make sense to somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's the simplest way to get them out of to listen. Because the Most High says so.
Right.
You know what I mean? If they don't want to go talk to Cat, you direct them to your husband or another officer, because the Most High says so. You know what I mean? If grandma want to keep going about why you do this, if mom want to keep going about why you do this, or whoever that's not in the truth want to keep going about why you do this, do you want to know because you want to learn? I can direct you in that direction. You know what I'm saying? We have some very experienced brothers that's been here and have been around and been learning, you know what I mean, and studying, collecting information since 1969, which we say all the time. You know what I mean? We got it for you. It's here. You know what I'm saying? But because the Most High says so. You know what I'm saying? Because this is mine, because I inherited it, and this is what I'm doing.
Right.
And this is my God. You choose your God. You know what I mean? It's very, we know now, like, yo, like we know because the Most High said it. Well, everybody not gonna be saved. You know what I'm saying? And we hear that term You hear that term? That's a reality term. You can't beat the whole world. You can't save the whole world. You know what I mean? You can direct them to this information and what we talked about earlier. They gotta show themselves approved. They gotta put their own work in. General Muhammad talked about um General Yohana talked about um burning your light out. You know what I'm saying? With some of these brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? The truth. And as far as though you trying to get them to understand something so bad because you you are touched and you feel connected to this truth so much. You know what I'm saying? You're different. Many are called, few are chosen. And everybody that's in this room, you've been called. And now you're proving to see if you've been chosen. You know what I mean? And take pride in that. Like you are better. Like I say that to my rib all the time. Like, yo, you better than your sister. You better than your mom. You better than your grandma. You are better than them. Like, it's just simple. You better than them. You know what I'm saying? Because look where you at. You
Right.
here. They this information is so hard to grasp. Like, it is so hard to grasp to some people, but for you, it's just like it makes sense. You know what I mean? I can take this steering wheel,
Slow
put it
first.
right here in this car, and then it's gonna operate the wheels. Somebody else, they like, bro, where did this go? I'm like, but that's just the way the Most High put it, and the Most High says so. You know what I mean? So we'll continue. In Leviticus chapter 12, verse 6. And when the days of her purifying are fulfilled for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring a lamb. So this is going to get into the offerings that they used to do, the offerings of the lamb that they used to do, which we don't do it because Christ was our sacrificial lamb. And we done with that. Hope y'all have a better understanding of that, and took some notes. We're going to get into Leviticus chapter 15, verse 1.
Come. It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 15, and verse 1.
Come right there. So now this is right here. It's going to talk about we're going into a little bit more into uncleanliness for certain issues. So we just gonna hop straight into it. Go ahead.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 15, and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, verse 2, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when any man hath a running issue out of his flesh, because of his issue he is unclean.
All right, so a running issue, right? When I was first coming into the truth and I was reading this by myself, I was thinking like a running issue was like some type of defecation on yourself or like pee on yourself or something. But it's not. You know what I'm saying? If you pee on yourself or you have an accident like that, you just dirty for that moment, right? You could just take a shower and you be good, right? But this running issue is when you see a running issue is something that is coming out of you that is unusual, that's not normal, right? Like having a pimple and the pus coming out. It's not a running issue. That's a common thing. People have pimples, right? Cutting yourself and having some blood run out of you. That's common. Like you're gonna bleed if you cut yourself. Your body is full of blood. You know what I mean? That's normal. But having a cut and having some sort of pus come out, that's something that's not something that happens all the time. You know what I mean? It's having some type of discharge that's coming out of you that is not normal. that is a running issue. You know what I'm saying? And you are unclean, right? Um, One thing you want to say is it's like some of this stuff is kind of common sense that you can just piece together about it. It's like, you know, these things right here is to protect Israel, right? Is to protect the other brothers and the other sisters of so like it's to protect the brothers and the sisters from something that can spread throughout Israel.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that don't mean that you got to be public with your issue. Knowing this, matter of fact, just knowing this law, right? Like knowing this and knowing the breakdown and knowing it in your mind, you ain't got to tell nobody your issue. You know what I'm saying? Now you know it. You ain't got to go to CAT or go to another office and say, yo, this happened. Is this a running issue? You know what I'm saying? You can have your issue. You can separate yourself until it's done with. You know what I'm saying? And the only question that you might bring up to the brothers that's over you is, yo, look, this been going on for this amount of time. You know, like I went here, they said this is happening. They said take this medication for it. Now, is this still a running issue? Like, because you know what I mean? Now you get to get more deep into it, more detail into it, and get a little bit more wisdom from the brothers that's older than us. I mean, that from the brothers that's are over us. You know what I mean? So, we in Rosh 3, we continue.
Leviticus chapter 15 and 4.
Yeah,
We do 3.
Three.
It's 3 Salaki. And this shall be his uncleanness in his issue, whether his flesh run with his issue or his flesh be stopped from his issue. It is his uncleanness.
So, meaning if you got that cut, if you got that issue and that discharge come out a little bit and then it stopped, you unclean. If that issue is a continuous thing, you unclean. If that issue is unnormal and it came out your body anywhere on your flesh, right? Whether it came out just for that short moment, a little bit, and then it stopped. It came out for a day and it stopped, or it came out, it was running, you know, continuously. You had to keep wiping it now and then throughout the whole week. You unclean. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, continue.
Verse 4. Every bed whereon he lieth that has the issue.
Meaning every bed that issue gets on. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, continue.
Is unclean.
It's unclean, right? So we're going to get into that later on. Go ahead, continue.
And everything whereon he sitteth shall be unclean.
All right, and everything where he sitteth is going to be unclean, right? So if you know you having this issue, the best thing would be is just to, you know, what they call it, take a sabbatical.
Yeah, just sit tight.
Yeah, just sit tight, just chill, and get your affairs in orders to get the proper things done to see what's up with this issue.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To try to get this issue stopped, to see what's causing this issue, to get back to good health. Right. So you can come and, you know, keep on being a part of, not continuing it, being with the brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? You know, sisters gonna miss you and brothers gonna miss you. You know what I mean? It's only a little bit of us.
Right.
So go ahead, continue.
Verse 5. And whosoever toucheth his bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening.
All right, so now whoever touches his bed, right? If you got an issue running from you and you messed up, you need some help moving. Brother got help. Sister should assist you. You know what I'm saying? And they touch it. They unclean, right? But they're unclean until the evening. Do you know why? Anybody could tell me why? Not why, but you know what? You unclean until the what is this? Come on, this is a new day. Go. So basically, you're unclean until the new day, right? Now we can go into Genesis chapter. We just gonna go to Genesis chapter 1.
That's crazy.
Come on.
Slide. What'd you say, sir?
Genesis chapter 1.
Come on.
Right, we're gonna go down to
That's crazy.
we're gonna read from 1 all the way down to 5. You can go in and just run it down.
So book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Now this is the beginning of the Bible. This is the beginning. What?
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
All right.
Verse 2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Verse 3. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. Verse 4. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. Verse 5. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were in the first day.
So he said, in the evening, and then in the morning was the first day. You take a note that he didn't say the morning and then the evening was the first day, right? You know what I mean? Like we go around and we say the morning is first.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Esau's kingdom says.
Mm-hmm.
That's what all the other nations say. The morning is first. But what the Most High saying? The Most High saying is the evening is first, and then the morning.
Right.
Right. So this is why, and so the evening begins a new day. Right. And we go to it again. You know, sometimes it hurts you so bad. Like, bro, why is the Christian church skipping over small things like this? Like when they read this, like what do they be thinking?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we know they don't understand it. So what they say, like, do they just be like, don't worry about that? You know what I mean? Like nobody never asked they pastor this. You know what I mean? And we understand because some of us been in the Christian church, and I'm pretty sure, you know, some of us probably in here have asked them that, but I've never asked them that. It never even crossed my mind to even ask them that because first of all, I was taught that the morning was the first part of the day and the evening, so it never even crossed my mind to even think about that. You know what I mean? But they do think about it because they tell you they know that these descriptions of what he did are subjected to that day. So they know it was a day, and
Right.
that is determined in the day. But the real days that the Most High gives, right? The first days is that the evening is first, and then the morning. So now when we go back to Leviticus chapter, what was we at? Leviticus chapter 15, right? And verse 5 or 6 we was just at.
Go.
We was talking about he'll be unclean until the evening. Now you think, okay, the evening is the first, and then it's the morning. So the evening starts when? Anybody know when the evening starts? Sundown. Let's get that sister a hand. Absolutely right. Evening starts at sundown. The evening don't start. The evening might start at 6 o'clock sometimes, and it might start at 8, and it might start at 5. Right? Don't worry about the time. The evening starts at sunset.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what you look for. You know what I mean? The evening starts at sunset. So if you unclean and you had somebody had a running issue and you touch their sheets, you're unclean until sunset. Right? Sunset starts a new day. So you should bathe and you should wash before sunset. So when the sunset hits, you have done what the Most High said do, and you'll be clean when the evening his, right? And again, the reason why we want to go into these things is because we different. You know what I'm saying? We follow the only God. You know what I'm saying? We different from these other nations, and we doing, you know what I'm saying, different things. And throughout, and when we have this down pat, and we know, can't nobody tell us different. Can't nobody trick us out of our heritage ever again.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And we can continue to build this nation for our children and eventually for us again. You know what I mean?
Right.
So now you know, and you're gonna see and be unclean until the evening a lot when you're learning about these laws. You're gonna see them a lot. You're gonna see them all over Leviticus, right? When it comes to uncleanliness, you're gonna see that evening. So now we know what the evening is. We went back to Genesis, right? You believe he created the world, the animals, man and woman. So believe that the evening is first and the morning is second, right? And that sunset determines when we're unclean and when we're not clean. It determines your 7 days that we talked about being unclean for a woman of Israel that has a child, not even a woman of Israel, a woman period that has a child, whether it's a male or female, right? It determines the 33 days, the 3 months and 6 days. It determines our high holy days, right? So let's keep an understanding of it. Let's keep it in our minds, and let's continue our understanding. So what was we at?
Sure.
Some kind of the water, sis. We at Leviticus chapter 15, verse 6.
Shit, we can pass them out while we at you want to.
What's that?
I'll say 82. Salagia. You said Leviticus 15 and 6. That's what we stopped at.
Right. Can you continue right there?
God. And he that sitteth on anything, Salagia. Leviticus chapter 15 and 6. And he that sitteth on anything whereon he sat that have the issue shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until even. Verse 7. And he that touches the flesh of him that hath the issue shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until even.
Right. So he's saying that if you touch the sheets of the man that has the running issue or the woman that has the running issue, because when it says man, when it says brotherhood, it's synonymous with the woman, right? This goes for woman and man. They have a running issue. You touch their sheets or you touch them, you'll be unclean until the evening.
Right.
Go ahead.
God. Leviticus chapter 15 and 8. And if he that hath the issue spit upon him that is clean, then he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until even.
So same thing. He's giving you a detailed breakdown, just how he gave you a detailed breakdown of the fins and the scales, and then he gave you a differentiation of animals that chew the cud but don't have a hoof foot, or animals that have a hoof foot but don't chew the cud. He the Most High is taking once he's making sure that you have a clear understanding of what's going on. So now when you read Leviticus, right, like probably how we used to read it in the world, like I used to read Leviticus, and I get so bored. I couldn't even get through it. Yeah, I want to read it, but it would be so boring. It would be so tedious. Why? Because I didn't know what I was reading. I'm looking for something else. You know what I'm saying? I'm reading it because I'm jammed up and my mom telling me to read it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm supposed to be reading the Bible this how, because I said that Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and I took that oath that Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. So I supposed to be reading this. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Not knowing why, but now we know why. We know why we supposed to be reading this, and it has a whole different type of feeling, a whole new meaning. It is way more bigger. You know what I'm saying? Now we even work even more harder to even understand it. So that's why. Wait, continue.
Okay. Leviticus chapter 15 and verse 10. It's like in verse 9. And what saddle soever he rideth upon that have the issue shall be unclean.
And so back then they rode what they rode, donkeys, horses, camels, probably a lot of stuff, right? But it's the same day we got saddle too. You know what I'm saying? We got vehicles. You know what I'm saying? We got bikes. So basically it's saying, yo, whatever she sit on, and it went into whatever he or she sits on. And it went into even more detail. It already said whatever she sit on. Now it's saying her saddle. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he or she's sitting on when he riding. So it's going even more into detail. You know what I'm saying? Boy, because the Most High, he loves you. He really cares about you. Boy.
Leviticus chapter 15 and verse 10. And whosoever toucheth anything that was under him shall be unclean until even. And he that beareth any of those things shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until even.
So anything that you touch that was under that person, you know what I'm saying, is unclean and you gotta wash it. And anything that you bear, meaning if he sat in your chair, you know what I mean, or on your couch, or on your couch, you know what I'm saying, wash it. And when it say wash it, it doesn't, when he's saying wash it with water, he's not saying you gotta take the leather covering off of your sofa couch and wash it. You know what I'm saying? Wet wipes have water in it. You know what I mean? Like Lysol, it's a liquid. You know what I'm saying? You cleaning it. So don't be Jewish.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And be like, oh, I gotta wash this whole couch. Like you gotta wash it, but you use liquid to wash it. Like you take bird baths, so you're not technically taking a shower wash, but you are washing yourself. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, continue.
It's verse 12.
Salagi, meaning he's saying wash it with water, right? Lysol is water. You know what I'm saying? Certain things that you gotta use certain type of liquid to wash it. So you're doing what he says. Kind of go ahead.
Verse 12. And the vessel of earth that he toucheth, which hath the issue, shall be broken, and every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water.
Now, this scripture right here is a prime example of what I ask y'all, what I recommend of y'all to do when y'all go home and y'all read on y'all own time. When you write notes, this right here, I do not understand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write it down and I'm going to get some more better understanding in it. So that scripture we're going to get back to, unless any other brothers can better explain it. That's over top. Go ahead, continue.
Verse 13. And when he that hath an issue is cleansed of his issue, then he shall number to himself 7 days for his cleansing.
Okay, so now we know that if you touch him or her with the running issue, or you touch anything that their bed, right? Or if that issue get on their bed, and or if you touch them, or you touch their bed, or you touch anywhere they sit, right? Then you'll be unclean until the evening, right? Meaning the sunset. And then you'll be clean at the sunset. But for him, it's saying that he has to number 7 days, that he'll be clean in 7 days after that issue, right? So go ahead, continue.
God. So like verse 14. And on the 8th day, he shall take to him 2 turtle doves.
That's enough. So yeah, that's going into the uncleanliness for a running issue. We can start back on we can go into verse 16. You can skip verse 15 and go into 16.
It's book of Leviticus chapter 15 and verse 16. And if any man's seed of complication go out of him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water and be unclean until evening.
So now, seed of complication, we know what the seed is. That's the seed of the man, right? The complication is the way that it comes out. You know what I mean? The ejaculation. If it comes out of him, he's unclean until the evening, right? And that's one of the things that I was talking about. This podium, right? This is holy. This school is holy. It's hollow, right? You can't come in here any type of way, right? You got to come in here the way that the Most High wants you to come in here. He wants you to walk in a certain type of manner and stature, have a certain type of morals that you stand by and that you uphold, right? So to be more simpler, you have sex. You can say sex, right? Huh?
It's like, my bad.
You say sex.
Say it again?
You say sex.
Yeah, you say sex.
All right. Yeah. So if you had sex, you unclean until the evening. That's for a man, right? Obviously. So let's go ahead. Let's continue.
God. Verse 17. And every garment and every skin whereon is the seed of copulation shall be washed with water and be unclean until the evening.
So man, we clean people anyway. We way cleaner than the other nations, right? We don't the dog one you on TikTok now. You see the street food.
Oh, you talking like Moab and them?
Yeah, I know Gabar see the street food.
Yeah.
You seen the street food on there? On TikTok.
Yeah.
The street food, if y'all don't know what it is when the Ishmaelites, which is the nation, is what it is, the Arabs. Okay, the Middle Eastern, right?
Yeah.
When they sit cross-legged on the side of the street, right, with an old holy rag on for their overhead, and they digging their hands, making your spaghetti or whatever they eat, your wok or whatever it is, they digging it. You know what I'm saying? Why they foot, no sock on, straight foot. You know what I mean? I watched the video where he grabbed some lettuce behind him. He had his legs crossed like in Hindu. His knee was the ball. He grabbed the lettuce to make a hole, to make a bowl with the lettuce. He put it on his knee.
Oh.
And scooped the dip and put it in here while he was negotiating prices and getting tough with people for not, moving up and like, yo, listen, you want the rice? Come on, man. Here, give me the bread. Boom, boom. Staring the bowl out, what you want? And they like, oh, it's a delicacy. It's street food. Nice. No, it's trifling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's disgusting. But where that?
Man, what you bring out is super heavy, man. We should never trust these other nations. And what you saying, man, that's how they live. They're not us, man. We the cleanest people on earth.
Right.
We show others how to be clean. Same way you just say he put it on his knee, man. I watched one where a man making a patty of some sort.
Yeah.
A burger or a patty or some kind of pancake. How he made it was, man, he grabbed the dough and put it under his arm.
And he squished it.
Joke, man, squished it, man. And man, I ain't no way nowhere. That's why I say we need to come out of her God's people, like you say.
Right.
Down with
Deal
God.
with our own. Bring them back to the days of what was that? Damn, we all gathered together, got rich, and they bombed our
Black
city.
Wall Street.
We need to bring them back to the days of Wall Street, man.
Yeah.
That's why the Most High, when we do what the Most High say, it works. Even though we didn't know the truth back then, we was doing a commandment and not even knowing it, and we prospered, man. We prospered so much that they had a plan to destroy us. That's why they did Black Wall Street like they did.
Right.
Because God said in the Bible, man, gather yourselves together, O nation not desire.
That's right.
When we do that, bro, you know what I mean? We're gonna rise. You know what I'm saying? And their whole plan is to destroy us, so they don't want us to be together. That's why they made Martin Luther King say, little black boys and little black girls hold hands. Trying to make us integrate with them because they don't want us to gather ourselves together. Because the salt of the earth is going to rule if we gather ourselves together. You know what I'm saying? That's real heavy, man. We need to pay attention to these scriptures, man. These scriptures for our learning. ICBK, man, and these beautiful officers and priests, man, are bringing out this truth, man. Don't let it go in one ear and out the other. We need to suck it in, man, and grow off of this knowledge, this practical knowledge that the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is giving you on the Command of General Yohana.
That's right.
That's right.
Good ass. The street food is a delicacy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They got a guy traveling all over the world that tastes all types of street food. He gonna be on a live soon. And it's gonna be his fault. You heard me? It's gonna be that street food fault. They adjusting their toe to not get in the way of the food. And then they take their hand and grab your rice with the same toe gripper and make your food, bruh. Go ahead, sis.
I saw this video. It was on Facebook, and it was like, just like you said, they sitting like on the side of the road or something, like in a little cubby area, and the guy was just grabbed heavy stuff, like he was making this stuff, and he grabbed this girl in his hand, and he was doing it all like aggressively, like, hey, take the stuff. And there was somebody doing the like voiceovers, like a funny voiceover, like I can't even describe it. It was just so funny. And he was like, hey, take it. What you looking at for? Go ahead, take it. Get off my face. Go ahead.
Right.
You know, and I was like, ew, he ain't got no gloves on. Like, what is you doing?
They doing them.
Right. They doing what they do.
They
doing what they do, eating bats.
They doing them. So we're gonna continue. We're gonna touch more into Leviticus and get more into the seed of compilation and the uncleanliness. But for now, I hope what y'all got out of the day is more understanding in the law and a little bit more motivation to hop back into your scriptures and start taking notes and challenging our amazing brothers that teach this law. You know what I'm saying? Because they enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? They enjoy proving this truth because they love Israel. You know what I'm saying? And it just sharpens. You know what I'm saying? It sharpens you. It makes you better. You know what I'm saying? So with that, the ISUPK and the Command of General Yohana, and shalom. We call it Officer the Darwan, Officer 500 the Darwan to make the announcements.
Shalom.
All right, security announcements. We got an ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves in the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find You find us in Numbers 18 and 21, and Malachi 3, 8 through 10. It means 10th in Hebrew and is pronounced ma'asher. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teach it. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you like to give. Upcoming holy convocations, we got the Feast of Purim, which is February the 22nd. All right. Oh, and we got
23rd.
And
Through the 23rd.
22nd to the 23rd. That's a Feast of Purim, right? And we got this weekend, Saturday, 1 o'clock. You understand? We got chili in B-More. We're gonna be on Pennsylvania Avenue. That's right. ISUPK under Commander General Yohana ordained us to go out and feed our people, man. You understand? So the 27th, 1 o'clock on Pennsylvania Avenue. Yeah, go ahead, put it up there. On Pennsylvania Avenue and North Ave, right there in the midst of Babylon, man. Right in the midst of hell. You understand? Well, our brothers and sisters are starving and cold. You understand? All kinds of narcotics and substance abuse is going on in that place. We're gonna be there feeding our people and giving out clothes, man. We'll have a nice squad out there with us. Got different schools. We got Delaware, Philly, Jersey, Virginia. You understand? Baltimore. We're gonna be in the building. DC. You understand? Out there showing love to our brothers and sisters, man, and solidarity, and showing them that brotherhood does exist. You understand? You don't gotta get brotherhood in the gang. You understand? So anyway, chilling B-More, go ahead.
Pay time.
Oh, I did all right.
I mean, Passover.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And on top of that, April the 22nd, man, we got the Passover. You understand? Our festivities are going to start April 17th, all the way up to the 22nd, 21st. Yeah, 21st, 17th to the 21st, man. But the Passover, the actual date of the Passover, the feast, you understand? That's going to be on the 20th in Durham, North Carolina. Pay your $200, man.
I paid mine.
That's
so
right.
I paid mine.
You paid yours? Most of the time, get out of hand. Pay your $200, man. The Commander General Yohana, man, and all the generals and the men above me, man, like they put this thing together where it's gonna be fly. You know, we always have fun. We party. You know what I mean? We got the brothers and sisters in the building. We got concerts, black party, all kinds of festivities, man. Pay the $200. Pay your $200. You feel me? It's $200 for anybody over 17. You understand? So you 17 and under, you just come on in the building, man, with your parents. You understand? All right. So that's the upcoming holy convocations. Remind Akim and Akwathi to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, they need to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. With that, we'll give one courteous salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, mighty, Shabbat, mighty, rock. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shabbat, Thug.
Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shabbat, Thug.
So, face the sisters, mighty. Give one courteous salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, mighty Shabbat, mighty, rock. Yahweh Shema Al-Thum Bashem, Yahweh Shabbat. That's retired. Class dismissed.
You seen this dude?